Probably never hear this on your radio, cause they ain't ready though. The same people can't stand that crazy flow, or the crazy folks can't stand that zany flow, that zany flow. They wanna hear that guns, drugs, and pantyhose with cameos, but I'm a good fella on that radio, so hear me, yo. They hate me though. They hate you, bro? Like Bowser hated Mario. The browser then just add me, yo. Go louder with your stereo. Of I will stick to I and you forget about that AEO.
Television, you can tell them vision. They pretend they spittin', selling millions while I'm futuristic. Call it telespittin'. Tell them chickens that I'm coming vicious to develop friction, then envelop, cause they selling fiction through your television. Devastate them, I estimate I'll leave them decimated. Featherweights can't even lift a plate, they too intoxicated. Celebrating till they elevate up to the operator. Play, I leave you faded, dedicated, cause I'm dedicated. Look, I am new to you, you're new to me, but I'm not new to this. I am Bruce and Lee, give kudos quick or eat this kudo kick. I'm cool and coolest, cruising with my crucifix. It's crucial, mix acoustics, do the students and become Black Jewelz enthusiasts. You roll with a fat check, but that even got to do with a rap track. Put it for you where to go, run a fact check. But you lose respect in that aspect. When she cat full of threat in a boom clap. Get a rap at the wrist playing blackjack. If it ain't the clack like bad, but he cast that whack. But he hashtag fast, but he fat is sad, but in fact that.
You probably never hear this on your radio, cause they ain't ready though. The same people can't stand that crazy flow. They want the same people original, it's so despicable. They wanna hear that guns, drugs, and pantyhose with cameos, but I'm a good fella on that De Niro. So many folks can't stand me though. Like cops can't stand the camera phone, the browser then just add me, yo. Go louder with your stereo. Of I will stick to I and you forget about that AEO.
Poof, I appear. Abracadabra. Now watch me turn rappers to cadavers. Now watch me spew flames and spit daggers. But no magic, just a day that's average. When you a savage, I'll lavish damage like salad and cabbage. Handed to a man that's abandoned, stranded and famished. I'll ravish and ravish these rappers to the counter, salvage their cabbage like a marriage fractured and packaged. Though they have the status, the saddest. Now I ain't tryna say you are dumb, but I'd be surprised if y'all knew the square root of one. I know we all gotta eat, work and say we got it done, cause I spent many days in the streets, hungry without a crumb. But you really ain't gotta spew all that nonsense, like your brain move, haven't seen your mindset. You a slave to the thing that rules your mindset. Come to the battlefield where my mindset. Real rap takes more than I might check. Goes far beyond the stage and I like that. Make sacrifices, blindly the blind, get a blind in my blind. That's eyes on the prize, just like I don't mind it.
You probably never hear this on your radio, cause they ain't ready though. The same people can't stand that crazy flow, and the tame people call me an animal. It's crazy, yo. They wanna hear that guns, drugs, and pantyhose with cameos, but I'm a good fella on that Pesci, Joe. Respect me, yo. They ban me though. They bang you, bro? Like drowning at Guantanamo. The browser then just add me, yo. Go louder with your stereo. Of I will stick to I and you forget about that AEO.
Standing by a clip like the Huxtables. I'm eating MCs like a Lunchable. Sleeping on your beats like let's get comfortable. Don't think you're untouchable. That's a no-no, you don't know though.
All right, what's going on, y'all? This is the Loner Lounge Podcast. I'm your host, Solo. I got a special guest with me today, man. Goes by the name Black Jewelz. Black Jewelz, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, man. I had to get, bro. After I read the you know what you do, bro, I was like, man, I got to get this dude on the show, bro. Like, so for the people that's listening that don't know, this man right here, not only is he a dope artist, you know, and we're gonna get to the music, bro. But first, I'm gonna jump into my favorite part of him personally. He's actually been on one of my favorite TV shows ever in life, man. It was called American Ninja Warrior. You was already on it once, if I'm not mistaken, right? And you going on again?
I've been on it 4 times, and this will be my 5th time that is airing on June 7th. That's my 5th year.
Holy shit, man. So you really into that competition right there.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So I kind of want to get into how that even happened, bro. Like what made you even want to do that show, and how did it come together that you was able to be involved on it?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's kind of just ironic how it happened. I've since a kid, like I've always loved being active and stuff. I did like conventional, normal sports as a kid, like basketball, baseball, soccer, stuff like that, neighborhood football and everything. But by the time like I was out of high school and stuff, I wasn't like doing any sports or anything. But some years down the line, I started doing karate. I joined a karate team in college. And then later on, I started getting into just working out and training like on my own in the gym and stuff. And I would just do that every single day, never really with like any specific goal or purpose in mind, like no specific sport. But like ever since I was a kid, I'd always dreamed about being a ninja, like an actual ninja. Like I can naturally do like flips and cartwheels and round-offs, handstands, and all that stuff, like without anybody teaching me. Like I used to just watch Power Rangers and do all the flips and stuff they was doing on the show. Like
right.
So, and like being a kid, seeing like the old throwback like Kung Fu movies and Bruce Lee movies and all that stuff, I always thought that was so dope. But I also loved just like running around outside, like climbing on stuff and like jumping on and off and stuff. That without like just obstacle course type stuff was always my favorite like version of athletic competition or sport. But I never dreamed there would actually be like an actual sport where that was what it was. Like, I was considering like doing Spartans and stuff like that. So I was training for that type of stuff for a while. But right around that time, like I saw this viral video of this girl who was literally just 5 feet tall. And she was the first woman ever to complete a course on American Ninja Warrior. And I never really watched the show at that time. Like I had heard of it. But when I saw that run, like as soon as I saw that, I was like, okay, this is exactly what I want to do. And I filled out an application like right at that very moment. And just started making my training specific to Ninja Warrior. And the next year was my first year on it. And that was 2016.
Wow, man. Damn. So it seems to me that you've always been interested in like pushing yourself and your body to do unnatural type of things, I guess, so to say.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, definitely, bro. So 2016 was the introduction. Now, how nervous were you when you knew that you was gonna be on like big television, man, on running the obstacle course? Like, how nervous was you with that?
Well, actually, I wasn't very nervous, to be honest. Probably because like I have a lot of experience being on stage and performing and stuff, and so I was very accustomed to that, like spotlight, being the center of attention. But I also had gotten into like very, very deep into mental training, like beforehand, before I ever got on the show. Like a couple months leading into the show, I was just studying mental training like every day, day in and day out, and started learning about like meditation and all types of just mental techniques to really improve your life, but also just your general mindset in terms of competition, but also in the way you live. And with that mentality that I had kind of already sculpted, I was in a good frame of mind when I stepped up to the start line.
Okay, that's dope, man. So I know everybody listening that's a fan of that show like me, and I'm a big fucking fan of that show, man. I gotta know, bro, what was the toughest obstacle or obstacles that you personally felt was real challenging in the different courses you was doing over the times you've been on the show? Oh man,
that's it. If you ask like any ninja that's been on the show, I can almost guarantee you that 99% of the time, each one will say it was a balance obstacle, because the balance obstacles are just like straight up do or die. Like it's one shot, one kill. If you make like a single flaw on the balance obstacle, there's almost no way to ever correct it. Like on other obstacles, like you might see people like do a big swing and they catch and like one hand slips off and they're able to hold on with one hand or something like that. But with the balance, like if you mess up while you're running across it, like you're gonna splash down in the water. So the hardest was actually the one I faced that first year. It was called the paddle boards, and it looked exactly what it was called. It looked like just exactly what you think paddle boards would be like. If you think of like huge ping pong paddles, and there's like a beam, like a cylindrical beam going straight across like a log, and there's like, I think there was like 5 paddles. So if you imagine like 5 paddles sticking out of the sides diagonally, on one side there's 3, on the other side there's 2, and they're staggered. So every time you step on one, you got to go straight to the next. But the trick is when you step on one, it tilts the whole apparatus over to that side. So like when it starts out, they're balanced like from left to right. But when you step on the first one, the entire thing shifts over way to the right, including the next step that you got to step on. And so you got to like literally be light as a feather with your steps on that obstacle. And you have to be able to have really good like eye to foot coordination, because literally the ground beneath you is moving as you're running. Like that has to be the hardest obstacle that I've seen on the show. Probably in all the years. Like there's obstacles that are more challenging in terms of strength and endurance, but just overall difficulty, I would say season 8, the paddle boards is the toughest one I've faced.
Okay, yeah, because I've definitely watched the show, bro, and I've seen some, some people that have high rank in that show, repeat people that's been, they're well respected in that field, and those damn balancing, man, they taking a lot of big name people out. Yeah,
man, we all every year we all dread it, and we're just like, I wonder what the balance is gonna be this year.
Right, man. But see, also though, I used to look at the salmon ladder like, fuck, man. You know how the upper strength it takes to keep your arms at a damn 90-degree angle, just your body weight on a bar, and try to move it in and out of these fucking pockets. Yeah. I was like, damn, I don't know how people do that shit. And I don't know when they started introducing like the reverse of it. They had to, for the longest time, it was just going one side, you went up. And then I think on some seasons they had it where you had to like turn yourself around and do it back down or some shit. I was like, holy shit, man.
Yeah. Yeah, they always find a way to amp it up, man. Every time we think that we've figured out all the skills we need to know, they always pull something out of the bag.
Yeah, that's good though, I guess. It keeps you on your toes and it keeps you in the gym training. So I kind of want to know this, bro. Like, so your first time doing the obstacle course, did you get to hit the buzzer at the end, or how'd that go?
Oh no. I wish. I actually got disqualified on the paddle boards because I made it across to the other side, but there was a rule that your foot can't touch that beam in the center in between the paddles. So I got across and I made like a last second survival move because I thought my next step was gonna be like the paddleboard had shifted over too much for me to be able to hit it and still make the landing. So like just out of sheer instinct, like I planted one foot on the center beam and then I dove for the landing. And I made it across. I didn't get wet, but I still violated the rules, so I got disqualified right there.
Damn, man, I think that's what a lot of people don't really know about that show, man, is that they are super technical when it comes to the rules, man. Yeah. The smallest damn misstep could have you out of there on your ass.
Exactly. It's no joke.
So, I mean, have you hit the buzzer at all? I know you said you've done it a few times. Have you ever hit the buzzer on the show?
Yeah. Last year I hit the buzzer for the first time and finished with the 5th fastest time. The year before I finished with the 4th fastest. But last year, right after that round when I hit the buzzer, I caught COVID and I couldn't complete. Yeah, I couldn't complete the season after that. I didn't even get to run again. So it was like super, super disappointing. I was locked in a hotel room for 2 weeks after that.
Oh man, I know people like you that's used to moving and training and doing all type of shit outside. I know you was about to lose your mind in that motel room, man.
Well, yeah, I mean, it did give me a chance to work on music while I was like locked in there, but it's like a whole year of training just went down the drain. Like literally a whole year, day in and day out.
Right. So that kind of brings me into the next question, bro. So was you making music before you was doing all the athletic stuff, or did that come after or during?
Oh yeah, no, I've been making music since I was like a little kid. Like I've always been obsessed with music since I was like really, really young. Like I used to get told that when I was first able to like walk and stuff, one of the first things I did was I climbed up on the counter and started pulling records out of the crates. So,
oh wow.
Yeah, at like 2 years old. So I always had a natural inclination to like just be absorbed with music. And like as a kid, my pops was a DJ. as a kid, so he had mad records and CDs just like all over the place. And so I used to listen to like all the classic stuff when I was a kid, like the Stevie Wonder and like the Jackson 5.
Oh man,
and, like old school LL Cool J.
Oh
and,
man,
yeah, like so. I was just always been into music, and then once rap like really got big, and I got really exposed to it. I just been literally rapping like every single day since I was a kid.
Okay, so that's actually dope, bro. That your daddy was a DJ, so that had to be like a heaven that you was living in, though, man. Your dad had all this musical stuff around, all these classic records and music right at your fingertips your whole childhood. Like that had to be like heaven for a kid like you.
Oh yeah, man. It was like to this day I still never got through like half of the records that he had in like CD players, like mostly because I had to sneak to listen to them. But there was no obviously there was no record player around, but he still had mad CDs and like from diverse styles too. So like I said, it was like Stevie Wonder and like the Jackson 5 and like Motown hits and stuff, and then there was like Metallica CDs in there and stuff too. So
oh shit.
Like, yeah, I used to just listen to everything as much as I could, and I was like completely obsessed with music. When I was younger, like Michael Jackson was like my favorite artist of all time. Like, and that's where I used to be a dancer. I still consider myself a dancer. I just don't do it as much, but I used to like teach dance and everything. And like I originally got my dance skills from watching Michael Jackson. Like I used to just watch Michael Jackson videos all the time. So like all those classic musicians, like that's my foundation.
Right, man. That's cool as hell, though, man. I know you mentioned LL Cool J earlier, though. I got to tell you, man, he's one of my favorite rappers of all damn time, man. When I first, because I'm only 28, though, so I had to go dig back to find a lot of this classic music, but I'm a student of the game. So when I was digging for LL, bro, and I felt that I'm Bad song, come on, man, that shit just it blew my fucking mind. I was like, there's no damn way this man was rapping like this at that point in time back in them days. Exactly. He was killing it.
Oh, yeah, he was way ahead of his time.
Man, he had so much damn swag, bro. Like in the video, he was just, man, it was so confident and that shit. I was like, bro, this guy's crazy.
Yeah, he had the bucket hat on with no shirt, had the chains on, he had the fly pants and everything. Like he was in his zone.
For real, man. So I want to ask you this, man. Matter of fact, I want to know where you from, by the way.
I'm originally from Connecticut, New Haven, Connecticut.
Okay. So what exactly was your first introduction to hip hop? What was it, LL Cool J or?
That's my very first introduction was probably like some old Busta Rhymes, just like some old
shit.
Because my pops, he had a poster up in the house of like I guess when Busta Rhymes first came out with that Woo-Ha joint.
Oh, that shit was crazy.
Yeah. So every day I see that Busta Rhymes poster and say, "Woo-ha, I got you all in check." And so, yeah, stuff like that just like created like the mythology of dudes like Busta Rhymes and like Wu-Tang. Like these dudes were like literal legends, like as if like they were dug up from like an Egyptian tomb or something.
For real.
Brought back to life. Like that's how legendary these dudes were to me. So definitely dudes like Busta, Wu-Tang, but especially Tupac. Like I found out about, like I really got into Tupac obviously like after he was gone and everything, and I just went back and like I was just completely obsessed with every single second of film and audio that had Tupac's face or voice on it. Like I was completely like addicted to, and he was a huge influence on me, not just like artistically, but as a person in general, like a huge influence. So he's probably the first one that really captivated me in terms of like an overall like rapper and like what he can accomplish with rap, like the things he would be able to talk about, but also be able to do it in like an artistic way and have like just the clean rhymes and say stuff that's so impactful. Like just a simple line like, "We got money for wars but can't feed the poor," and like in Keep Your Head Up when he says, I give a holler to the sisters on welfare, Tupac kids, if don't nobody else care. Like stuff like that. I wasn't used to hearing rappers say stuff like that. Talking about that type of topic and really be that like honest and pure, but still like be rhyming like really clean and smooth. So yeah, I gotta say Pac, and then Slim Shady. Like Shady was just like freaking blew my mind with like the stuff he used to say and like his ability to mess with words. Like to this day, I mean, obviously now like everybody's on M, but like I was always just like amazed by Shady.
Yeah, man, because if you think about it though, Eminem was the first artist to come out. Like if you look up the phrase "I don't give a fuck" in the dictionary, bro, like his picture is next to that. Like this guy, he was the first one in music to ever just not give a fuck about what came out of his mouth, but he did it in such an artistic way. Man,
undeniable. It was and you know who was a huge, like who he says was a huge influence on him was also Tupac, and like and even that phrase, and like he got that type of that attitude from Tupac, because Pac also had a song called F the World, from I think it was Me Against the World, but it was that era for sure. But like, and M said in one song that he was like a white Pac. In the song he had with Dre, What You Say, I think What You Say Is What You Say is the name of the track. And he says that he's like a white Pac. And he definitely took that whole attitude to like the next level. He's the one person in rap who took the freedom of speech. Like he took he took the potential of that and like turned it into he took the most advantage of that phrase out of anybody in rap. Like the freedom of speech, he didn't let anybody take that from him.
Right, man. I agree with that absolutely. So I want to ask you this, man. I'm actually curious about this, bro. I want you to kind of go back as far as your memory will be vivid, man, and try to say, do you remember one of the first rhymes you ever wrote? How far back can you go? Could you give us a little couple bars from them?
Yeah, I definitely do. So the interesting thing about that question is like, technically, is when I first started wanting to rap, like one of the first things I did was practice other raps that other rappers did that I thought were dope or challenging. And one of those on the top of my list was Twista had a verse on Puff Daddy's, I believe it was his first album, the No Way Out joint, that had all those crazy hits from the Shiny Suit era. Right. That had More Money, More Problems and all that. There was this track called Is This the End? And Twista, like, he just came out of nowhere on that track and just completely snapped. Like, he spazzed. Like, obviously people know Twista with the chopper flow and everything, but he just snapped, and he was telling a story too. And so that, I remember listening to that track and going over that verse like it had to be at least 100 times. Like I would play the first line and then like pause the track and then like run it back and write down like the words that I could decipher, and until I wrote out his whole verse. And then I used to just practice that verse over and over till I could say it like in speed with him and off, like without having to read it off the paper. And so that was like, I remember that being one of the first like official raps that I quote unquote wrote down. But like my first rap, it was a rap about one of my homeboys in like middle school, and it was actually like a diss.
Oh shit!
Yeah, it was a diss about him, but he didn't know because I changed the name of the person in the rap. Shit! I called the rap Cornelius, and so I thought of kind of like the most uncool name I could think of. And I remember the first, it started out like it had like a real like basic old school setup. It was like, I know this kid named Cornelius, but he can't feel this because he walks around the school and he thinks he's really cool, but he can't realize that he looks like a fool with his afro haircut, looking like a rocket, like he tried to pop it, like he licked his finger then stuck it in the socket.
Oh shit. Oh man, that was pretty diss-worthy though, bro. Yeah, you was really talking reckless about this man.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, he's one of the first people I spit it to, and he had no idea.
Oh shit, man, you petty for that. You petty for that, bro. Jesus.
I think that was out of line.
Did he ever find out that it was about him after a while or what?
Nah, bro. Unless he hears this.
Oh shit! If you listen to man, that was back in middle school, bro.
That was a long time ago.
The bars was crazy, but let it go. It's all right. I don't think you have the hair like a rocket no more. Hopefully not in 2021. You're gonna live, man. That's funny as hell, dude. So thank you for sharing that, because I like to embarrass the artists that come on my show sometimes and get them to spit some of the first shit they wrote, because it's always embarrassing shit when you first start out. It's like, damn, man, like my talent was fucked up when I first started. Like shit. I like to just let them relive that a little bit, man. That's fun. All right, man. So I want to know exactly when was the pivotal point when you actually said, all right, I'm taking music very serious, and when you actually sat down tunnel vision on your music craft?
Oh man, honestly, that was like pretty much since day one. Like even when I was in high school, like I remember making working on a demo. I had no money for studio time, so I was just like recording like however I could record my own audio. Like I'd make a beat and then like just record like the beat playing like out loud, and that would be like a track. And then on top of that, I would play that back, and then I just record my vocals on top of that, like without any like actual microphone or any type of studio equipment. And I was putting together a demo to send the Aftermath. So shit. Drake could sign me.
Shit.
Yeah.
You went for the big guns.
I don't even remember what I did with that. Yeah. I wasn't playing at all. So like ever since I started, like that was always my goal, but I didn't have the savvy, I didn't have the know-how, I didn't have the knowledge, and I definitely didn't have the mentors or the connections to really know what to do with my talent. So I started performing live because, like I said, I didn't have any studio equipment, didn't have any studio connections, anyone to give me beats or nothing like that. I didn't have money for like even a keyboard or like production software. And so I just started writing mad acapellas, and I would go to like poetry open mics and just be like doing straight up raps that were like lyrically poetic. And I mean, I would do poetry slams, like competitions, and literally like 99, if not 100% of the time, I would always win first place, because like I was dedicated to perfecting my craft and really making the best presentation of myself that I could. And I made a really noteworthy name for myself in the Connecticut area. And eventually I just like really started grinding to get that production equipment. I was like going to college full time in the daytime, and then I'd be working overnight full time, and then going back to school the next day to be able to get the money to get the production equipment so I could like make this music happen. But all along, I had like no real concept of like marketing and networking and all that stuff. So I was just like making like really dope music that was getting praise and acclaim for the few who heard it. But I never, like where I come from, New Haven, like there's nothing there except for Yale University. Like, and right around Yale University is surrounded by the hood, like some of the worst hoods in America. And there's no mentors out there for us. There's no role models like guiding us. And there's definitely no connections for kind of like a unconventional business or work choice, like making music or being a rapper. So I didn't know what to do with it. And so it wasn't really till like maybe like 6 years ago that I even was like really getting a sense of like, okay, now with like how social media is and everything, like there's kind of a way to reach people, and I really gotta like learn all of like everything there is to learn to master all of the aspects of the business element of it. Because the art aspect I've been working on since childhood, but the business aspect I didn't know nothing about. So that's just been like the last, I've really been going hard, but that's like probably the last 6 years or so. And that's like it's a major grind, like especially on top of the trying to be artistic and be an elite athlete at the same time. Like it's a major grind.
Yeah, I mean, shit, that made me tired just hearing you say it, bro. Like that's a lot of fucking work, man. Because you think about what it takes just to be an amazing athlete.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Damn, bro, like the discipline and the time that's taken up from training and, you know, nutrition, and then you try to put music and creativity on top of that, bro. Like, you a busy man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's real talk, man.
Damn, so that's crazy, bro. So speaking of all of that, man, so when was the first time that you actually recorded a record and you was like, and you actually put it out to the public, you know, or you know, put it out for everybody else to hear, like you was really trying to push it? What was the first project, the first track you remember actually putting out there to really promote and get behind?
Woo. Well, so I'd made some like local mixtapes and stuff that I'd let like people in my circle hear. But when I first put out like a national release was 2010. It was an album called Appraisal, and I had just gotten like my first recording equipment, like just learned, like self-taught, learned how to mix and all that stuff. And I was recording in, not even exaggerating, a booth, quote unquote, which was my closet that was 2 feet wide, 4 feet long, and 6 feet tall. So it was like a little sweat box. No ventilation like that. Yeah. And I didn't have money for no studio foam, so I just took some sheets and some shirts underneath it and just like put them up on a hanger over the walls. Like it was mad bootleg, yo. It was so ghetto-fied, but I was determined. I made it work. And I don't, and again, even with that, like I didn't really push a single because again, at that time, I didn't even really have, I knew about singles and stuff, but you know, in 2010, singles weren't like everything like they are now. Like albums were still important at that time. Like I Twisted Fantasy had just come out that same year and was like, it was like everything. So albums were like still a big thing. And like Lupe Fiasco was still kind of hot around that time. Like he was still like really the new hope of hip hop around that same time with his like albums and what the albums were doing. So I was really focused on making like a really solid kind of epic album. And that was 2010. And ever since then I released like 4 or 5 albums since then, and a handful of singles.
Wow. Okay. So when exactly did you notice that, hey man, I think people really fuck with my shit though, bro? Like I you know, the numbers are starting to climb up here. Like when did you actually notice that, and did it add fuel to your fire, or was you just like, oh well, I think I still got to work harder? Like when did you notice all of that shifting?
So that's like a really interesting question, because the answer to that question has like multiple sides, and that's because of like the state of society and like specifically technology. Like that's changed like a couple of times since 2010. But like in 2014, I put out an album called Black Market, and I won an award for that album for rap album of the year from the International Music and Entertainment Association. Oh wow. So yeah, that was definitely like a big, you know, a big accolade to receive. And like over the years, like I said, when I was doing open mics, like I was like, as soon as I stepped in the room, like to be honest, like everybody knew me and they was like waiting to hear like what I was gonna say on the mic, because everybody like knew my name and they knew when I spit something, like it was unique, like it was way different. It was stuff that nobody else was saying, nobody else was thinking of, and I would get like I would get like honestly endless praise and stuff. Before like this was before everything was on Instagram and like people just drop like shallow comments or just threw out an emoji and just keep scrolling or double tap and then flip to the next app or something. Like this is when if people were gonna give you props, like they had to open their mouth and express it. So like I've gotten like so many levels of like acknowledgement and appreciation from open mics to like the albums and even music videos. Like I also won an award for one of my music videos, a music video called The Madness. So like over the years, like I've definitely like I'm like saying this like as humbly as I can. Like I've had more people than I can recall telling me like I'm the best rapper that they've ever heard. Like I'm the best rapper in the world. And that's like not, that I'm not blowing smoke. That's not nothing I'm making up. But like, kind of like I mentioned, in the era of social media, it's like, it's all about clout. It don't even, 90% of the time, it don't even matter how good you are. It just matters how popular you are.
Right. It's a trendy era instead of talent based. It's trendy.
Exactly. People are just, I don't think I ever seen a time with a bigger bandwagon. Like, you got people dragging their bodies along the street to hold on to the bandwagon that's passing them by. Like it's all about like numbers and clout and followers. Like you can see it in so many aspects of culture. Like even with sports and like top athletes, half the time, like the people that are determined to be the greatest now, it's just about their numbers. Like they don't look at their impact. Like back in the day, like of like Jordan and even AI and Kobe and all that, like you looked at their impact, like their performance and what their impact was on the culture, on like the people that was watching them, and like what type of icon they were in the midst of like that era. But now it's just like, oh, he's got this many boards, he's got this many threes,
right.
This many numbers. Like it's just like our generation now has gotten completely blinded and obsessed by numbers. And so with music, it's you can have the most garbage music ever made, like literally crap that's hardly even music. Like some of these dudes literally don't even be rapping, like they just be talking over a beat, not some of them not on beat at all, and dudes be like, yo, that go hard, like that bang right there, and I'm like, what? You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's different now, man. I don't even know like when I would pinpoint when it's like for me when I started to notice that, because like there's been different phases of like in the open mic era, like I noticed it then, but that once I like shifted to mainly doing recorded stuff, that was like a new start. Like I had to start from zero from then. And like a couple years down the line, I started getting that acknowledgement, and I like got the awards and all that stuff, and people giving me props even online and social media and stuff. But then when like it became this new world of like just followers and likes and all that stuff, I'm like starting from zero again. So like I guess like in this new phase, this new era, this new audience that I'm trying to reach, I'm kind of like just beginning to like kind of get that same acknowledgement all over again.
Right. No, I agree with that, bro. And the analogy that I really use is it's almost like the salads on fast food restaurant menus. Like they're there, people know that they're there. It's better quality than the rest of the shit you're gonna get off of the menu, but people rarely buy it. You know, it's just something that's in the back of their mind. So that's kind of how I look at the game nowadays, bro. It's like It's like the good shit is almost like the salad on the fast food menu. Like we know it's there. We know that we should order that instead of the fucking Big Mac, but it's not as popular. You know, it don't give me that little feeling that you know, because the fast food fucks with the chemical balance in your brain. So we don't know that our chemicals in our brain are fucking up with having addictive qualities. So we just go for the shit that we know instead of going for what we need. And so that's how I look at it, bro. So I do understand it. And that's actually funny. That's actually why I started this podcast. I originally started the podcast to find the diamonds in the dirt that don't nobody know about yet. That's out here just trying to make a name, trying to get some recognition, that have that dope music that nobody talks about. I try to find those people, bro. I try to bring them on my show, even though I'm not no big fucking deal right now. I'm a very humble dude. I don't have a problem admitting that I'm in the beginning stages. So I just for even to give them one extra listener that I might have that'll find out about them. You know, I think there's some science that says that every person in life will meet about 1,000 people throughout their life, and each one of those 1,000 people that you meet, they'll meet 1,000 throughout their life. So you could always reach a shitload of people over time, because each of us are going to meet a certain amount of people throughout life, and if your name's brought up, it could transfer. But so I started this show to strictly find the ones that nobody's looking at, the people that have the great talent, you know, the shit that's missing out here. And I try to bring it to the forefront and give them praise, because it's not easy to pursue a music career when your style and you're not really, what I would say, involved in this matrix that is the game these days. If you're not plugged into that shit, it's hard to pursue that kind of a career. So I have a lot of respect for people that still fight it every day. You know, it's kind of like fighting the machines almost, you know what I'm saying? So I respect people like that. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what it's like. And like that point that you brought up about like what the fast food does to our bodies and like the brain and everything, that relates like exactly to the same thing I was saying about like social media. Because like this generation, like now we're so drugged up in every way imaginable. Like there's so many studies that have proven and continue to prove that the addiction to social media and likes and all that stuff is equal to addiction to drugs like cocaine and crack, because of the reaction that it causes in the body, and also the reaction that it causes in a state of withdrawal, like especially with kids. Like when parents take away like the privileges of social media and stuff, there have been studies that have observed kids, and they literally start twitching like a crackhead because they can't get their fix of the social media high, the dopamine rush that they get from all the likes and all the attention. And with like the speed of everything that we all get in the new era of technology, like everything happens so fast, like it's cutting down our attention span, our ability to think like long term, and it's just trying to get to that immediate instinctive reaction with everything. That's why you go on freaking YouTube. You can't go on YouTube without some YouTuber making a dumb face for their icon, for a thumbnail. Right. Like they're so shocked. Every video is such a shocked face, and it's got these big bright letters on, like, and it's clickbait wording. They got bright, huge letters on the picture. They got really, really exaggerated face because they're trying to get that instinctive reaction without having to like coax you or lull you or in. They're not even taking like more than 2 seconds to try to draw you in. So it's the same thing with the music now. That cats don't even want to hear music unless it gives that same immediate pleasure. Like unless it gives them that immediate dopamine high, unless they can like bounce to it real hard and get like super amped up or super happy or whatever, they don't even want to hear it. Even with like art, I wonder like how art is gonna survive, because the last generation of people who have the attention span to sit and like analyze art, much less sit and actually make art, like that generation, I don't know how many years they have left before there's like a tiny remnant that's left. You know what I'm saying? So this is like the society that cats like me are trying to thrive in, trying to be like artistic and like masterful with the craft. But like everybody's walking around drugged up, like it's plugged in, like you said, like in the Matrix. And we out here like Neo trying to fight these agents and trying to find other people to wake up. But they just like, dude, like, and this is like one of my favorite like movie scenes ever. And the quote is like so epic. It's just like Cypher when he's meeting with the agent and he's like, he's eating the steak and he's like, you know, I know this steak is like nothing but like a code that's put into a system, and the thing that I think is like the taste of the flavor is nothing but like signals being sent to my brain, and then like, or signals going into my taste buds, send them to my brain or whatever. And then he says like, you know what, but I realize that ignorance is bliss. Like, I wish I never even knew that. Like, I wish I could just eat this steak and believe that it's steak, and not know that it's not even what I feel it is. Like, what I'm feeling the reaction of is not even a real thing. And that's like the society we live in. Like, it's a society full of ciphers where they just want to live in the fantasy. Like, they want to live in the world that's not even real, as long as they get that pleasure.
Man, I'm glad you brought all that up, dog, because to me, bro, The Matrix is probably one of the most slept-on movie concepts ever.
Oh,
because that shit, it literally applies to actual real life. And so the producer of that movie, guys, shout out to them, bro. They nailed it. There was some smart motherfuckers that wrote that damn movie, all I know.
That movie was like literally life-changing for me. Like, that movie is always like, that's like one of the foundational like elements of like my understanding of like what the world is. Like, there was a time where like that movie came out and it was like big because of the graphics and all the special effects and all that, but like I had to go back and I had to like get that movie and rewatch it like at least like 5 times, like before I really started to catch what it was really saying, like, and how it really applied to life, and like how real it is if you really think about life in the world that we live in and society we live in. Like, it's so relates. Like, The Matrix is so freaking on point, yo.
Yeah,
like,
I'm telling you though, these are the conversations that I like to have with people though, bro. So for those listening, you get 2 damn people that's into this type of shit, man. You get like an 8-hour show. I'm gonna tell you that right now, bro. Me and this dude, I could go all day on this shit though, and I don't mind still going on it right now. We can still do that, bro. I don't mind. Hell, this is my show. We do whatever the fuck we want. I like to have intelligent conversations like that. You dig? Like, I love that type of shit, bro. So yeah, no, you're definitely right though, bro. Like the Matrix was actually the first time in my life, but I didn't understand. Like, The Matrix came out, I believe the first one was in like 99 or 2000, some shit like that. It was late.
So, yeah.
So I didn't understand it at all my whole childhood, you know. But then as an adult, I watched it. I was like, holy shit, you know. And that's actually the moment where I started implementing critical thinking into my life. I never did that before. I never questioned any damn thing. I never had that open mind to be like, well, why is this like this, or what is really going on? I never questioned any damn thing until I understood the Matrix movie as an adult. Then I started questioning all of this shit, and I like it now. You know, it made my life a little bit better though, questioning certain shit. So yeah, my brain goes, and I'm a bookworm, so I'll read a ton of fucking books on all type of science and shit. You name it, man. I'm a huge bookworm, so I'm into all of that shit, man.
That's what's up, man.
Hell yeah. So let's get back to the music before we go down this fucking rabbit hole, bro. We'll be here for like that. We'll be like 2 days talking about it. So, right, man. So tell us a little bit about the music you have going on currently, man. What are you pushing? And what can the people expect, and where can they go find that at right now?
Yeah, so right now I'm pushing my next single is called King is Black. It's about to drop on Friday, June 11th. And so that's the main thing I'm pushing right now. And I'm also working on an album called Strictly for Myself. And I'm just working on a bunch of music. Like, I have like several ideas. Like, after I finish the Strictly for Myself album, I have like a really thorough conceptual album. Like, I say thorough because it's something I want to do right. Like, I want it to be like a masterpiece, and it's got a really dope concept, and that's something I really want to be able to do right. And so like I'm trying to get to the point, like, and when I say trying to get to the point, I don't mean like one day, like right now. I'm trying to get to the point where I can just be able to do music and like make money off of that, so I can put all my energy into making music and training. But for me to make this album that I'm talking about, like, it's gonna, like, I can't do it and be working like a full-time job, or like I got three jobs right now, and I can't be doing that and like trying to make that type of album at the same time. So I'm actually working on a GoFundMe campaign that I'm probably gonna start pushing soon, where I'm setting a goal to make 100 songs in 1 year. And I'm trying to raise funds so that, like I said, I won't have to work at the same time. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, that's something I'll be pushing like in the very near future. Anybody listening could just follow me at the Black Jewelz, and that's the Black, just like it sounds, and then Jewelz is JEWELZ, and you'll be able to stay up to date with what I'm doing.
Absolutely though, man. And hopefully when you go back on the American Ninja Warrior TV show for the competition, bro, hopefully you'll be able to get the Mount Midoriyama, you know what I'm saying, win that prize money at the end of that shit, you know what I'm saying? So that's still in the cards, you know.
Exactly.
I got faith in you.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you. I ain't stopping until I become the greatest.
Right, bro. I do believe you can do it, though, dog. Like the way that your attitude is to life, bro, and you know the spirit you got. I can already tell. You know, you got one of those relentless fucking spirits where that whatever you're focused on at that minute, you're not gonna quit or eat or sleep or shit or nothing until it gets accomplished. There's a certain goal that has to get accomplished first. You're almost like a what I would call like an improvement addict.
Yeah, no doubt. That's accurate. That's very accurate.
Yeah, because I mean, human beings are creatures of habit anyway, you dig, by nature. So we're all going to be addicted to something, but it's the shit you're addicted to that makes the big difference in whether your life is good or bad.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So being an improvement addict is definitely a plus on the life side. So.
For sure.
Yeah, man. So I just want to wish you luck, though, bro. When are you going back on the show again this year? When does that start?
So the first episode is actually going to be June 7th. June 7th is going to be the qualifying episode. And then the regional finals will be, I don't know the exact date because of the Olympics. They're having to like shift the dates around because like they usually air Ninja Warrior on Mondays, but the Olympics start, I think, in July or something. So there's going to be like a little bit of change in the schedule. But like I said, if you follow me, like I'll definitely be posting the updates for when my episodes are going to air.
Okay, bet. And just for the audience listening, you know what I'm saying? We, respect the Olympics, respect the athletes, but come on, man, American Ninja Warrior is a way better watch than watching the fucking Olympics. Now, shout out to the people in the Olympics, though. Y'all some disciplined people too, but come on, man. Yeah. We talking about grown men out this motherfucker muscling through a rugged obstacle course. Come on, man. Real life ninjas, get out of here with the Olympics. Yeah. And they need to have American Ninja Warrior on the Olympics.
Yeah, yo, that's what we trying to get it on there, yo. We've been pushing it for years, and it takes a long time to get like rock climbing. Like we all known, like rock climbing has always been like a underground type of thing. Right. This year, for the first time, rock climbing finally gotten into the Olympics.
Get the fuck out of here, really?
Yeah. It's gonna be the Olympics, and I'm looking forward to it because this is gonna be rock climbing. That's one of the first things I had to learn brand new when I started ninja training because of the grip strength. Yo, that's like there's hardly anything harder than rock climbing. Like it's so freaking hard, and it never stops being hard because just like Ninja Warrior, there's always a new route to climb. There's always like another mountain somewhere. Like it's so freaking hard, yo. Yeah,
and all the mountains are built different. They have different structural situations and shit. There's different steps, different breaks, different cracks, different jumps. Man, yeah, I could imagine that because I noticed a lot of contestants on American Ninja Warrior. They have a rock climbing background.
Exactly.
So them the whole new tough breed. That's a whole different motherfucker that do rock climbing. Them people ain't normal.
Yeah, yo, I'm telling you.
These little kids today with their soft hands, man, they would fucking cry just watching a video on rock climbing. You know what I'm saying?
For real. You ain't getting them rugged hands from holding a PlayStation controller. I must just say that.
Right. Yeah, you might get some arthritis in your thumb joint. That's about all you got to look forward to.
You can't even do a thumbs up by a 32.
Right, I don't think these fuckers might don't be nothing but damn thumbs and heads in about 150 years. I don't know. We might evolve into thumbs and heads, bro.
Yeah. You just be a walking thumb walking around.
That's it, man. Joystick as a nose, be fucked up out of it, bro. Definitely, man. But hey, man, Black Jewelz, man, I appreciate you coming on the show, man. Thank you so much for accepting the invite, bro. I had a really good time talking with you, man. And I will definitely be following you more and paying attention. And, kind of background stalking you. You know what I'm saying? Not to sound weird, but I do want to know when the show come out, man. That's my favorite show ever to watch. So I'm definitely gonna be staying up to date to that. I'm gonna go dig into your music catalog, bro. And I encourage everybody to go. What's your YouTube channel called? They can find you, or where can they find your music? Man, give all your links and everything out right now, dog. Just put it all out there to the people.
Yeah, so Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, just look up The Black Jewelz. One word. But like I said, Jewelz ends with a Z, so it's The Black Jewelz. On Facebook, just look for Black Jewelz, Spotify, Apple Music, all that. Just look for Black Jewelz, and you should find me. I got a bunch of stuff out there, and feel free to hit me up. But definitely, if you feel any of the music, the videos, posts, whatever, definitely please share it because that definitely helps the grind.
Absolutely, though, man. So, yeah, I appreciate y'all listening, man, to another one, though. This one was a real fun one, man. This is the Loner Lounge podcast. I'll catch y'all on the next one. All right, what's going on, y'all? This is the